With the entrance of women into the workforce, the role of women in societies worldwide has changed dramatically in recent decades, and few cultures have been as impacted as that of traditional Bolivia. Here, where the average wage falls among the lowest in the Americas, women's work outside the home is now considered essential to the family's income base, even as women's families' responsibilities remain undiminished. For single mothers in particular, whose families depend on their one income, the challenge of both earning enough to stay afloat financially while taking care of their children's emotional needs can be overwhelming. It was in response to this tough reality that a work collective known as Madres y Artesanas was born 7 years ago in Bolivia's capital, La Paz. Under the leadership of Yelka Marik in La Paz, and supported by the marketing efforts of Silk City Sales International's Maureen Kuwait in New York, Madres y Artesanas trains Bolivian women in the traditional Bolivian arts of macrame, hand knitting, and hand weaving, and promotes their unusual artistry to the world. Today, Madres y Artesanas' list of clients includes many of the world's top fashion houses, among them Polo Ralph Lauren, Diane von Furstenberg, Donna Karan, and Oscar de la Renta. However, Madres y Artesanas is not a typical business or even a typical collective. There are no time punch cards. Craft persons can either work at home or be part of the workshop, or vary the two daily. Every day at the workshop is Bring Your Child to Work Day. The collective also provides shelter and food when needed. Below is a translation of a recent story made by CNN about Madres y Artesanas and its powerful social impact on Bolivian society. We visit a Bolivian company that offers a more flexible model of production in order to help working mothers. They not only weave fine threads, turning their talent into works of art. They weave life under their children's attentive gaze at a company that seems to have come out of an unreal world in the 21st century. But this is real. These are the workshops of the company Madres y Artesanas Textiles, which not only shelters working mothers and their children, but also exports quality textiles to the world with a very original management model. Very competitive. It has broken all the molds, all the structures. There are no cards to mark when they arrive or leave. They work the prototype at the workshop. They can make it at home or come to the workshop with their children. If they don't want to come, they don't have to. This business experience is the result of direct contact with the reality of many women who come here with different problems, some of them with signs of physical and psychological violence, others abandoned, but all of them holding on to their children. Our children are an incredibly strong motor for us women. We have to believe in ourselves. And this is precisely the reality that joined these women together. Yelka Marik, divorced, mother of 2 daughters, and forger of this project of independent small business women, which transcends boundaries, ages, and beliefs. I feel proud, capable of raising my family. The most important thing is that here we do have the opportunity to work with our children. Hearing children's laughter and cries is part of the everyday atmosphere at this company, which has a priority in management that allows it to produce models in limited editions for important international brands like Donna Karan, Nicole Miller, and Oscar de la Renta. These are clients that have a high-end market. Many of our garments are exclusive models or limited editions. For these mothers and artisans, this company is a great opportunity to weave their dreams of hope and a future for their children, because most of them are the economic pillar of their household. This is the case of Veronica Mamani, who has 2 daughters and a husband who is almost blind and handicapped due to multiple sclerosis. Veronica knows very well how important it is for her to work at this company. We have achieved not only independence, not only being able to support our spouse and our children, but we have also achieved growth as women. These women and mothers know how to weave, and not only in threads and wool of different colors and textures, because these women weave love with wisdom from the soul at a company at the level of this field. For CNN, Gloria Carrasco, La Paz.
Para CNN, Gloria Carrasco, La Paz.
Madres y Artesanas exports the garment elaborated in different hand techniques, such as macramé. Macramé is a form of textile making using knotting rather than weaving or knitting. Its primary knots are the square knots and forms of hitching, full hitch and double half hitches. Macramé is able to form geometric patterns and/or free-form patterns like weaving. Common materials used in macramé include cotton twine, hemp, leather, or yarn. Crochet. Crochet is the process of creating fabric from yarn or thread using a crochet hook. It consists of pulling loops of yarn through other loops. Crocheted fabric is begun by placing a slip knot loop on the hook, pulling another loop through the first loop, and repeating this process to create a chain of suitable length. Machine knitting. Warp knitting is generally done by a machine, whereas weft knitting may be done by a machine or by hand. Knitting machines use a different mechanical system to produce results nearly identical to those produced by hand knitting. Hand knitting. Knitting is a craft by which thread or yarn may be turned into cloth. Similar to crochet, knitting consists of loops called stitches pulled through each other. The active stitches are held on a needle until another loop can be passed through them with a second needle. Hand loom. A loom is a machine or device for weaving thread or yarn into textiles. Looms can range from very small handheld frames to large freestanding hand looms to huge automatic mechanical devices. In practice, the basic purpose of any loom is to hold the warp threads under tension to facilitate the interweaving of the weft threads. The precise shape of the loom and its mechanics may vary, but the basic function is the same. Bobbin lace. Bobbin lace is a textile lace technique that consists in weaving the threads that are initially rolled in bobbins in order to handle them better. As the work progresses, the fabric is fastened by pins in a pincushion. The place of the pins is normally determined by a pattern of small holes in the pincushion. This can be done with thin or thick threads of linen, silk, wool, or cotton, as well as with threads made of precious metals. Today, this technique is used with a great variety of synthetic fibers, with wire and other threads. Madres y Artesanas projects itself as an example to be followed by many organizations in third world countries for its initiative in showing women as one of the main pillars of productive development, with a high impact on our society.